Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And if you can hit that thumbs up on the video, I would appreciate that as well. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube, or outside of the YouTube live streams or videos, you can consider joining the Discord I've created or the Facebook group I've created. There are links to those down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to check out the different meals and recipes that we have been enjoying as we've been working towards our weight loss goals. Today is day 1089 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose over 270 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing to succeed. Share that with the rest of us. If you're struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe there's something we can help you out with. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing or that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over here. Hello. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. It's 2 days in a row for me to be live. That is a record here in the past few weeks. So I'm happy to be back on the live stream and getting back into my regular routine of things. A couple people checking in, saying hi here. Tennis and Yoga Girl and Jay both saying hi. Hello. I hope you guys are having a great day. The weather here, it was decent starting the day, and then we kind of got some rain in, and it sounds like we have some cold weather in our future. So we're starting to see a real change in the weather, but for the first part of today, it wasn't too bad. I did not get much of a chance to be outside, and I don't think it'll be any fun to be outside the rest of the day from the looks of it here. So, but I hope you guys are having a great day. Let's see. Yesterday's live stream went great. I really appreciate everybody who commented and participated on the live stream. Like I said, it's nice to be getting back into my routine of things and habit of things, and doing the live streams is one of those kind of routines or habits that I have been doing here, or that I've been needing to get back into. So I'm happy that I'm getting back into it. Pretty Girl's mom checking in, saying hello, Pretty Girl's mom. Hope you're having a great day. The topic that I kind of put out there, or put on the thing for today, is doing the right things, or doing things right. I don't know if that's the same thing. Is doing the right things and doing things right the same? I feel like there's something different in the way you say that. But anyways, I know that for the past couple months, I have not been doing the right things or been doing things right. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly where things went wrong or what went wrong, and I think that it was partly that I was doing the right things, but I was also doing the wrong things at the same time. So I would eat these big low calorie dense meals, which is what you're supposed to be doing, but then I would also have a high calorie dense meal in the middle of it. And so I would be doing the right thing, but then I would do the wrong thing, and then I go back to doing the right thing. And because I was doing both, I kind of maybe didn't feel like I was doing things as poorly as I had been doing that, and for me, it's really comes down to the food that I choose to eat and the things that I choose to consume. And one of the biggest issues I had, over the past couple months that uh hadn't really been an issue was soda. I think that's really I started drinking some soda and um started getting a lot of calories from soda, and that um really hurt my weight loss. And it's not a great way to do things. It's um yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's soda's a weird thing, because for me, like, prior to starting this challenge, I never drank like regular soda. I always drank diet soda. It was Diet Pepsi or Diet Mountain Dew, and I would drink an abundance of it. And I never felt like there was any downside to drinking that diet soda because it was 0 calorie. And now I've kind of changed my mindset about things, and I wouldn't I would never choose to drink a diet soda over a regular soda now. And just because of what I've learned about the chemicals and the things that are in the sodas, and really I shouldn't be drinking either of them. But I I got back into that old habit I had with soda, but it was with regular soda. And I don't know that I would have been in a better position if I would have drank so much diet soda versus regular soda. Again, I shouldn't be drinking either of them. But the regular soda is just a lot of excess calories, and something that I've seen lots of people suggest, and really I need to kind of take to heart, and to really uh is to not drink my calories, whether it be from soda or be from juices. Is that I should be getting my calories from the whole food, and not just the the juicing of the food, or sugary sweet drinks. Um and so it's kind of it's weird, because I'm wrestling with old demons, but I'm also wrestling with new demons, or maybe they're old demons in disguise, I guess. And uh it's uh it's just taking time to navigate the path and figure things out. Um and you know I need to continue to keep soda out of my diet. And it really um it really probably was kind of the catalyst for this last relapse I had, I guess, if that's a best term for it, or if it's um I don't know what you call the last couple months. But and it wasn't just soda. There was lots of processed foods. I was eating bags of tortilla chips and hummus, and I was eating fast food stuff like from Chipotle. And even there's a vegan restaurant near us that I was eating food from there that nothing from the restaurant is is really that healthy, because they have to make it so rich and, uh, so rich so people enjoy it and they come back and they keep having it. That's only Munchers that says, did you continue to drink soda after Ragbri when you got home? Yes, I did. It was something that I wrestled with, and I would be okay for a few days, but overall, I just I got into a routine where I had soda around me, and then I would drink it, and I would find excuses to go into gas stations so I could buy a soda when for a long time I had no reason to go into a gas station. And um so yeah, I continued to drink soda after the that Ragbri event. And in my head, again, I don't know, there's so many different things that happened, but while I was doing that event, while I was on Ragbri, I was drinking soda and I lost weight. And so you kind of create this narrative in your mind where, well, I was able to lose weight and still drink soda, so maybe I can continue to drink soda and continue to lose weight. And then that soda led to having other processed foods in my diet. And then when I was gaining weight, I was blaming the processed foods for the weight gain and not really the soda. And it was both of their fault. It was both the soda's fault and the processed foods. So I was arguing with myself that, if I could just get rid of the processed foods, maybe I could keep the soda in my diet. And it really wasn't until I got the soda out of my diet that I was able to talk myself out of having the other processed foods. So it was something where it was just a slower process for me to catch myself than I would have liked it to have been. But I'm happy that I've caught myself and that I'm working through it here. Jay here says, all that salty fast food, you were craving sugary drinks for dessert, LOL. Yeah, I think that it's craving dopamine. I was craving the calories. I was craving that hit of food. If it wouldn't have mattered what the food was, as long as that it was giving me that dopamine hit that I was looking for, I guess. Karen here says pop is definitely the issue for her. She drinks diet caffeine-free Coke, but it's still not healthy. Yeah, and for a while there, I had been drinking those flavored waters, like the can't think of a brand of it right now, but just the sparkling water that has just like fruit flavoring in it that are 0 calorie. And I I was I had ended up kicking that to the curb because I felt like it was halting my weight loss. And there's really no calories in those foods, but there's sodium in them, and there's other things that can affect your weight loss. And so yeah, I've been just avoiding it, completely trying to avoid drinking my calories, and really following my own advice. And that if I am having that craving or that temptation towards having a soda or having a juice, that it's probably just being thirsty. And because I'm thirsty, my mind then goes to, well, what is the best way that we can satisfy his thirst and also give him the most dopamine while doing it? And that's where soda comes in and where juices come in. And if I can just convince myself that, hey, you're just thirsty, just drink some water and it'll pass. And it really does work. And it's something that for the couple months there, I did have less water. I drank less water. I had less water available or around me. And just because of the changes that I've made in the past couple weeks. I've been keeping a lot more water around me, and I always have a bottle of water with me to satisfy any thirst that I have. Let's see. Ann says, was the activity level the same? Yeah, my activity level really hasn't changed much. And also LaCroix. Yes, that's one of the names of the water companies that make the sparkling water with the thing. Let's see. Jay's asking how Dr. AJ got off the Dr. Pepper drinks. I don't know. And Plants Only Muncher says you need to have a plan for RAGBRAI and make a commitment to what to do and not to do. Yeah, and like I said, this is the third year that we've done the event, and I think that my biggest issue with it is getting into my routine after the fact, because it's hard to explain the event and how the week goes, but I can make all of the plans in the world. But once that week kind of starts, what's going to happen is going to happen. And whether or not there's ups or downs or things go well or things go poorly during that week, I need to be back on plan the day I come back. It's because, like I said, I can plan to have all the food in the world with me, and if something happens where I don't have the ability to cook the food or eat the food, or something happens to the food, then I still got to figure out the week. And I've never gone, I always lose weight during that week. It is the aftermath of that week that is where I find that I have the biggest issues. And so it's a week where I'm forced out of my routine, and I have to force myself back into my routine when I get back. I think is going to be the best thing for me to do, and to make it succeed. Let's see. Matt here says it's a tough eating cycle, artificially high and terrible lows. We all struggle. Yeah, it's really I don't have a great way to graph it or explain it, but when you're eating that processed food, it gives you that artificial higher, it artificially improves your mood while you're eating those foods. But then when you get off of those foods, or when, you're in between meals, then your mood drops and it goes artificially low because of the food that you're eating. And with eating clean and how I've been feeling, how I feel when I eat clean, I don't need those artificial dopamine highs because I already am at a pretty high, mood. My mood is really good. It's great how much your mood improves when those little, like, that inflammation's gone in my ankles. And when I see my ankles and I see my calf muscles again, it improves my mood. When I don't have the ankle pain and the issues with breathing, it improves your mood. And you don't need to have that artificial stimulation through your food, and I still do get stimulated through my food, and I still do get dopamine hits from the food I'm getting, but it's not artificial. It's not a manufactured amount of dopamine. It's as much dopamine as you're going to get from potatoes and broccoli and oat groats and steel cut oats and things like that. So let's see. Jay here says that plants only, exactly, that's what I was thinking, or not even go to protect his sobriety. Well, that is not an option for me to not go. But yeah, like I said, um it's gonna be getting back into the routine. Yeah. And or getting back into it. And I also have a bit of a rebound from it, likely because I am eating less food throughout that week. So when I come back, um, I kind of rebound and eat a bunch of food. So, um, and talking about Chef AJ's Dr. Pepper Slurpees. I don't know if I've ever had a Dr. Pepper Slurpee. All right. So, I guess it's something that just thinking about why is it so tough to make the right choices. And I don't know. I mean, it could be a number of things, I guess, and maybe you guys have some suggestions on what makes it so hard to make the right choices. But I feel like it's almost, in the world that we live in, it's almost more difficult to eat an unprocessed diet than it is to eat a processed diet. It's hard to just walk into a gas station and get something to eat or get something to drink that is whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free. And so it's not impossible, and you have to stop going into the gas stations looking for whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free, and instead you need to go to the grocery store, where you might actually have an option of getting those things. But I think that it's hard to do the right thing because we're surrounded by all these wrong things. All of these temptations and these pleasure trap foods, and that and then the onus is thrown on us to avoid it. It's like, well, if you can't avoid it, then you're not strong enough. And it's something where I don't know I don't know that it's, yeah, we're not broken, like we're designed the way we are and we eat the way we eat, but we were built to eat that way. We were designed to eat that way because we were anticipated to be in a natural environment, and we're not in a natural environment. We're in a very artificial, processed food environment that we haven't been in. Let's see. Pretty Girl's mom says undereating causes you to binge because your brain thought you were in starvation mode. Yeah, I think that some of that is, you kind of rebound from it. You rubber band back, or you overcompensate for what you were doing. Karen here says maybe a 30-day water fast at True North. Yes, if I could take 30 days off and go do something like that, that would be amazing. But that would be pretty tough. Let's see. Ann says convinced price we think just one. I'm not sure. I think you might have a typo in there or autocorrect one of those words. But let's see. Matthew here says, wonderful to see you back. The crap food is everywhere, and friends think we are nuts. Very tough to stay compliant. Yes, it's tough to stay compliant around other people, to put up with them kind of judging you for the way you eat. And for me, it's a weird thing because I've said it in the past, is that it's the food, or it's not that I have an eating disorder. It's that the food that I choose to eat is disordered. It's not natural foods. It's not real foods. It's things that you would not see in the wild. And it's avoiding eating that disordered food to, and eating whole natural foods, that it's hard to get back into. It's hard to figure out. It's something where over the last couple months we had different stresses going on. We had different things going on, and it was so much easier to just order from a restaurant than to make our own food. But in the long run, it wasn't worth it. But at the time, I convinced myself that it was a problem for a future version of myself. And maybe that's part of what made it so hard to do the right thing, was that I have a bit of this arrogance that I can lose it, and that I will lose the weight, and that if I continue to eat a healthy, whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, that eventually I'll be at my goal weight. And so why worry about it now when I can just deal with it tomorrow or deal with it next week? And so, yes. So, let's see. Jonathan, a lot of gas stations here have convenience stores with delis that offer veggie subs. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, you can go into a gas station and you can find healthy choices. It's just not the normal, and it's not. It's usually not cost effective to buy your produce from a convenience store versus a gas station, or I'm sorry, convenience store versus a grocery store. Let's see. Why is it so tough to do the right things? Like I said, there's a ton of different reasons, and yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of different reasons why it's so tough to do the wrong things. See, Karen here says several of the people who follow Chef AJ say processed foods or restaurant foods or less than whole food is not our food. When you're looking at food and saying that, you definitely get the point. Yeah, and that's kind of what I talk about a little bit of we all have these, imaginary buffet tables in front of us of food that we allow ourselves to eat. And when before I started this diet, that buffet table had everything on it. It had candies and sodas and donuts and cake and potato chips and cheeseburgers and hamburgers and French fries, and everything was an option before I started this diet. And then I started the challenge and I changed the buffet table. I cleared it. I said, there's nothing on this buffet table except for water. So for 40 days, the only thing I allowed on that buffet table was water. And I survived off of that water for 40 days. And then I switched and I brought in a new table of food, and it was completely different than the food that I used to eat. I never would have had rice on my buffet table. I never would have had pinto beans and quinoa and avocado and um, I don't know, farro and barley and steel cut oats and spinach and red peppers and onions, and none of those things would have been on my buffet table before I started this diet. Did my water fast. I brought in all these awesome foods and I put them on my buffet table. And I've slowly been kind of changing things out. You know, for a little while I'd added avocado, and then I decided, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have avocado right now. And the same thing with those LaCroix drinks and the cherry juice. You know, there were things that I brought onto my buffet table and I said, you know, we got to get this stuff out. And then there's other things that I never even had heard of having before, like bulgur wheat and nooch and table tasty. And those are things that I brought on to my buffet table that I eat. And what I found happens is that when you're adding things to that buffet table, if you're adding something that is higher in calorie density or has some processing to it, that is generally going to give you a higher dopamine response. It's generally going to be higher calorie, and you're going to gravitate towards that food on your buffet table. And so at some point in the past few months, I started putting soda on my buffet table. And while water was still there and there was other healthy foods there, I would start going over towards the soda. And so then it started to take up more space on that imaginary buffet table that I'm eating from. And then I trickle in and say, okay, I'm going to have some tortilla chips, or I'm going to have some pretzels and hummus. And just on their own, it wouldn't be an issue. But once I put it on that buffet table, then I'm going to go back to it. And I'm going to keep going back to it day after day until I can get it off of the table. And that's what I've had to do here again. And like you said, you know, you kind of have to say that processed food, restaurant food, and anything less than whole food is not my food. It's not on my buffet table. And so, and so I have to stick to my table of food, and I'm very happy with those foods. I just have to chain those days together of avoiding those crappy foods. So, let's see. Jay here says avocados are on sale everywhere here. You bought another one. Love avocado toast. Yes, I did have some avocado toast the other day, actually. So I've been having a little bit, you know, I had a little bit of avocado. And then the other thing that we had a couple times in the past week that I had avoided was miso. We had it in like this mushroom gravy that was really good the other day. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because I feel like getting too crazy with the avoiding of the nuts and the avocado and the dried fruit and the there was another one I can't think of. The miso. Yeah, like if avoiding those is worth not having them as an option, I guess, because you know, if I say, okay, avocado is not on my approved list or nuts aren't on my approved list, then that puts them in the same category as a double cheeseburger. And it's not the same. You know, if I slipped and had a couple nuts, it's far different than if I slipped and had a couple cheeseburgers. So, so yeah, it's I've been been playing with my buffet table here. And, you know, I had to re-clear it, wash it off, get rid of some of the grease and stuff and the oil and the salt and the sugar that was on there, and get it back to, you know, the way it needs to be. Plants Only Muncher here says, Chef AJ and Alan Goldhamer promote perfectionism. They don't think it is okay to eat off planned foods. I think it is okay if you plan for them. Yeah. And it's perfection. What is it? Progress over perfection is what some people kind of say. For me, you know, I don't know if I can do 10%. I don't know if I can be 90% clean eating and 10% or even 95.5. I haven't been able to do it successfully so far. The only time that I see the scale go in the right direction is when I am 100% compliant. And it's just the way it's been throughout the past 1,090 days that I've been doing this, is that when I'm compliant, the scale goes in the right direction. All the markers do what they need to do. And when I go off plan, I gain an immediate 10 pounds, because the difference between me having sodium in my diet and not having sodium in my diet is 10 pounds of fluid in my body immediately. It's just not, you know, I have found that I do better with perfection so far. I've tried doing some of this, playing around with things and adding cheat meals in, and I haven't done great with it. So let's see. Mixed Martial Media says, I've seen your 1,000 hour fast results. Absolutely incredible. They are 5'11", 265. Also going to attempt a 1,000 hour fast. Your longest fast to date is 10 days. That is awesome. Good luck with your 1,000 hour water fast. Make sure you have lots of water, and you work out a plan for when you're going to get off the fast. For me, the biggest thing that I learned from my 1,000 hour water fast is that the water fast is the best opportunity to reset your diet. It's the time that you need to look at what you're doing wrong and what got you to where you're at, and say, okay, I'm going to water fast, and then I'm rid of these things. You know, I'm no longer going to have this processed crap. I'm no longer going to eat dairy. I'm no longer going to eat whatever it is. You know, use it as a reset. Use it as a way to clean up your diet, reset that buffet table that you have in front of you, and put new foods on the table. Let's see. Jay here says, that's what I thought. There's nothing wrong with a can of soda, bag of pretzels, or nuts occasionally. But if it's food addiction, that's serious. It says, miso is very salty. Don't eat it. It's going to drive you to a soda pop. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've had miso throughout the past couple years, and it was always kind of a nice little pop in the diet there for us. But yeah, I mean, as far as the soda and the pretzels and the nuts, it's I don't have it in me to do it occasionally, you know, at least not at this point. And you know, it really depends on circumstances, I guess, too. Let's see. Pretty Girl's mom says that abstinence is the best for them. Let's see. Hello, Jean. Hello, Jean. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Yes, Karen says that not having it in your house is a huge way to avoid temptation. Right now, she's battling the trick-or-treat candy that she has. She may have to move it to the garage to take it off her mind. Yeah, we don't give out candy at our house. We don't have a lot of kids that come by our house, but we did do like a trunk or treat um, last year or the year before, and we ended up handing out little toys to kids. They had these little, like plastic spiders, or we had these, they were like these little poops actually. Um, and the kids loved getting a toy versus getting candy. And so maybe that's something that you could look into, is if you could give out some like small toy instead of candy, and not have that in your house. Um, for me, I don't have a hard time avoiding the most of their candy, uh, because it's got milk and dairy and stuff in it. And we actually, the kids do a great job of, everybody loves going trick or treating with them because they get all this extra candy that our kids don't eat. But let's see here. See, Plants Only Muncher says perfection does not work. Just as last fall, when you gained 20 pounds and ate off plan, you are doing it again this year. You need to plan for off plan foods, make a commitment to eat it once, and then get back on plan. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to, I don't think I could plan to eat off plan meals and then get back on, because I kind of explained it a little bit yesterday, is, how often do you plan that off plan meal? Is it once a week, once every couple weeks? If you miss a week, do you get to have two in 1 week? If you have an event coming up, can you make an excuse for, or you move that off plan meal to that day, or do you get two off meal plans that week? I think I would cheat it too much. And I think I've been doing pretty good. So even with the last couple months, and I do feel better. Like, I feel way better now than I did 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. So, but yeah, it's it just doesn't work for me to try to plan an off plan meal, because I don't have it. I just don't know that I have that in me. So Carrie says, "Whoo, she made it." Yes, you made it. Just as I'm kind of getting ready to wrap up. I don't have a lot more to talk about. We're just talking about why it's so hard to do the right thing. And working on avoiding doing the wrong things, right? Let's see. Plants Only Much says, if you eat off plan randomly, you start to binge eat. But if you plan and make a commitment, then you are less likely to binge. I think that it's hard. I always binge eat. It's not the volume of food that I eat, I feel like would be considered a binge to most people. Like the 5 potatoes and the bowl of broccoli I had for lunch today is a huge volume of food for most people. And the foods that I'm eating, they aren't higher in volume, they're higher in calorie. And so I don't know that, when I'm eating these off plan meals or these off plan snacks or foods, I don't know that I'm eating that much more volume of food than if I was just eating compliant all of the time. Um, but again, I would, uh, yeah, I've only lost weight while I've been compliant. I've only lost weight while I've been eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet. So, and I mean, in a way, I did plan my off meal plans this year is that it was my off meal plan was the week of Ragbri, and I tried being off meal for that week of Ragbri, and then wasn't, didn't get right back onto it. Let's see. Gene's asking if we have a dehydrator. You just got one, and it's a game changer. The variety drastically improves. Yeah, we have a dehydrator. The only thing we've ever dehydrated in it is bananas, and we really liked it. But it was a couple years ago now that we did that. Karen here says the candy's been in the house for almost 2 weeks and only started playing with your mind yesterday. Usually you put it in the freezer and that works. Yes. Yeah, you got to get, it's hard having that stuff in your house and avoiding the temptations. I know what you mean. You just got to keep at it, and I'll keep bugging you about it. I'll try to remember each day to ask you if you've avoided the candy in your freezer. Maybe that'll help keep you on track here. So, let's see. How do you know planning does not work? You have not tried it. Yeah, I have not tried it. But the way I've been doing things has helped me to lose 260-ish pounds, 270 pounds. So I'm going to keep working this angle here for the next little bit and see how I do. So, but I am going to hop out of here today. I don't have much else to talk about. I really appreciate everybody getting on here, being so supportive. I love all of the advice that you guys are giving me. It does give me a lot to think about and what to do. Let's see. Jean here says she got the Raw Food Romance Lisa's wrap recipes and taco shells, and the sauces are great. That's awesome to hear that, Jean. Yeah, I've heard some different people talk about that, so that's great. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. If you have not hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. If you've not clicked on the bell icon, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. Make sure that you do hit that thumbs up on the video as well. It absolutely helps with the YouTube stuff. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that reaches their goals, looks back, and wishes they would have waited. So get started now, guys. I will see you on the next one.